I am super excited to have with us today Steve Liang from Real Estate IQ, here to teach a very educational class today. But before we get started, I do just have a couple of quick announcements for you guys. And we do have a really awesome promotion going on right now that our team has actually put together a really cute kind of retro themed video for you guys. So Juan, if you can go ahead and queue up that video, we'll play that. And then I'll get into the rest of my announcements here in about a minute or two.
My goodness, another crazy day at the stock market. With all this uncertainty, how on earth am I going to feel comfortable retiring? There has to be a better way to invest my money safely.
There is.
Who said that?
The disembodied voice in your kitchen.
Oh my! Wait, what other way is there?
It's something called a self-directed IRA.
A self-directed IRA?
Yes.
Well, what does it do then, huh?
This IRA allows you to use your 401k and IRA money to invest in alternative assets, such as real estate, notes, and private entities. The stock market can be volatile, and having alternative investments that you are knowledgeable about in your IRA provides a lot less fluctuation and helps diversify your portfolio, so you don't have all your eggs in one basket.
Well, that sounds like a swell idea. How do I get one of those?
All you have to do to get started is open up an IRA with Quest Trust Company. You can call one of our certified IRA specialists at 855-FUN-IRAs and submit an application online now.
How grand! I think I'll call them right now.
But wait, there's more.
There's more?
Don't get burned by the stock market this summer. When you open an account with Quest Trust Company, we'll send you a free toaster. That's right. When you open an account right now with Quest Trust Company, you will get a free toaster. Use promo code TOASTER, right, and call 855-FUN-IRAs and talk to a certified IRA specialist right now.
Oh, guess I'm muted. Awesome, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short little video that we had. This is a really fun promotion that our team has put together this year. I do think it is actually probably Nathan's favorite promotion that we have ever done as a company. So all month long, and we are closing here in the end of it for the month of June, we're giving away free toasters. Used to be the hot thing to do for banks back in the day, and we've brought it back. And you know, much to my surprise, this has been extremely popular. I'll be honest, I didn't get it at first, and I did some research and I found out why we are giving away toasters. And so it's been a lot of fun. If you guys have more questions about that, be sure to reach out to an IRA specialist. But to make that promotion even better, we actually have extended our Father's Day promotion through the end of this week. So you guys do have one more day. We're doing a bit of a bundle right now where if you open up an IRA, we'll take $50 off of your account opening fee and give you a free toaster. Or if you want to open up 2 or more accounts for you and your immediate family, we'll actually waive all of your account opening fees. So Sarah is our moderator today. She's one of our IRA specialists based out of Dallas and soon to be based out of Austin here in a few weeks. She'll put our contact information there in the chat, but be sure to take advantage of this. If you guys are not currently a Quest client, we would love to help you get started, and we'll send you a free toaster along with that. Now, the rest of my announcements here, I'll kind of keep this quick today, but who is Quest Trust Company? If you guys know us, you know that we host a lot of webinars. We provide a lot of education about self-directed IRAs. But at the core of our business, we are a custodian to self-directed IRA accounts. So not only do we teach investors how to utilize their old 401ks or IRAs to invest into real estate and other privately held assets, but we also act as the custodian of that account and kind of help to walk you through that process as you are moving funds over and beginning the journey of self-directing your IRA into privately held assets. Now, there are a lot of benefits to having a self-directed IRA. Reach out to us. We'll walk you through a one-on-one consultation and answer all of your questions for you. but it's a really great way to grow the money that you have sitting in an IRA through investments that you have more control over. Now, my last point that I do want to make here on this slide is this bright yellow bullet point here at the bottom. It is our disclaimer, pretty standard, but please be aware that at Quest, we do not give tax, legal, or investment advice. We provide a lot of education and we bring out a lot of different guest speakers, but please make sure that you're taking the time to do your own due diligence before you enter into investments. Use professionals to make sure that your deals are structured properly and that your documents are structured in the favor of your IRA. Really cannot stress that enough. And just make sure that you're not rushing into deals that people that you do not know. Now, this class today is just one of many classes that we host here at Quest. If you want to rewatch today's class, you can head on over to our YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, we have recordings of pretty much every class that we've had for the last couple of years now. And we host a lot of kind of like specialty interviews and shorter educational videos on our YouTube channel as well. We also have blogs on our website, educational articles. You can actually chat live with an IRA specialist directly there through our website. And I am super excited to announce that we are officially bringing back our in-person events this August, and we'll be starting it off with Lunch and Learns and a mixer in Houston, then Austin, and then Dallas. So be sure to keep an eye out in our newsletters and in the other intro slides that I'll have coming up here in a few weeks. We're really excited to bring back the in-person events. If you guys have not been to our offices and our classrooms in Houston, Austin, and Dallas, we've got a big space in all three offices. It's great for learning, it's great for networking, and we're really excited to be hosting you guys again, actually live in our office. Now, if you're not local, that is totally fine. We will continue to live stream and record all of our classes just like we have been over the last year. And if you're not local, you can definitely check out the virtual networking happy hour that we are currently hosting twice a month. We may push it back to once a month once the in-person classes come back. But again, just keep an eye out in our newsletters and on the event pages on our website. We will have all of that information there as it gets released. Now, my last kind of event announcement for you guys today is actually our last big online conference that we will be hosting probably for the rest of this year. We may host one at the end of the year, but that'll be several months away from now. This is our online Quest Summer Intensive. It is 3 Fridays in a row. It's half days. And on each day, we are going to do a deep dive into the different investment types that you can actually hold in your IRA. So the first Friday will be all about holding real estate investments and how to apply that to holding real estate in your IRA. The second Friday will be all about private placements, multifamily, commercial investing. And last but not least, on July 30th, we will be talking all about notes and note investing, private lending in your self-directed IRA. So tickets are $25 to this event. It is a bit of a larger scale production that we will be putting on. But if you guys check out the chat, I can see Sarah's messages coming through right now. Go ahead and get your tickets. Even if you can't attend live with us, you will have access to the recordings as well. And we're really excited to host this event. There will be a lot of great content offered over those 3 days. Now, I also know in these classes, we get a lot of our current clients joining us to watch this ongoing education. If you are currently a Quest client and you know someone, maybe some friends, family, or colleagues who could benefit from having a self-directed IRA, make sure that they put your info on their application and they put the promo code referral. If they do that, you will each get a $25 credit to your accounts. And for more information about this, you can go to refer.questtrust.com. You can actually fill out a little form there, and we'll reach out to both you or whoever you are referring and to kind of walk you guys through the next steps of how they can get started with their own IRA here at Quest. Now, speaking of current clients, I did also want to make a quick announcement of the online client portal that we have. So Quest has very actively been working on adding new features to our client portal over the last couple of months. We have added several new features to the online portal. If you are a Quest client and you have not logged on or utilized these features, I would definitely encourage you guys to go in, log on to the client portal. You can access this from the homepage of our website. But through the client portal, you can initiate expenses that need to be sent out for your real estate investments. You can upload any of your documents securely and encrypted. So anything with personal information, you can keep that out of your email because, guys, emails get hacked all the time. So this is a really safe way to get your forms and information over to us. And last but not least, we actually have a brand new feature through here called the QTC Investment Hub, where you can actually now upload all of your investment documents and information directly online to the client portal, and your transaction specialist will receive it and send you updates through the portal in real time. So lots of great features that we have there. I would definitely encourage you guys to check it out. And if you're not currently a Quest client yet, once you do get signed on, this is a great feature to have. It's, we've put a lot of effort and time to improve these features over the last several months. And it's got a lot of great information in there for you guys to manage your IRA. Now, that's about all that I have for my quick announcements for you guys. We are very easy to get a hold of here at Quest. It's something that we really pride ourselves on. If you're interested in a free consultation, feel free to go ahead and scan this QR code. You can sign up in 15 seconds or less and go to our website. You can chat with an IRA specialist, give us a call, send us an email, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions for you and help you get started when that time comes. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and bring back Steve Liang. Steve is the owner and founder of Real Estate IQ. Real Estate IQ is a technology-based company. They have a lot of great features for real estate investors. And Steve, I've seen your company ever since, I don't remember what the name of it initially was, but you guys have grown. You've added several features. You're now nationwide, which is really awesome. And I'm excited to hear your presentation today about building brand awareness through thought leadership. I think I've seen you give this presentation before, so I'm excited to bring you back today, and I'll go ahead and pass off the torch to you. If you guys have questions, put them in the Q&A box, and I'll come back on at the end and answer any questions that we have. So Steve, go ahead and take it away. We're so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Haley, and thank you for inviting me. It's a true privilege to have the opportunity to speak in front of you today. So thank you for being here and listening. So let's talk about, I want to learn about the audience. So we have five options here. If you could kind of share where you are through chat. I'd like to have some engagement with our audience. So please go ahead and type in it. So you're either, maybe you're attending school right now or you're learning something. I'm a lifetime student myself, or your early career all the way to what we call the master's level. Okay, early, mid-career. A lot of mid and early career. Thank you. Okay, so next, what are you looking for, or what's your expectations? I want to make sure that during our talk, we can touch a little bit of what you're hoping for. Maybe you're here to learn. Maybe you're here to get some information so you can do it on your own. Learn and grow my business. Thank you. Thank you for your answers. Okay, so this is what I'll be sharing today. We'll share a little bit of our growth journey of the company. I think with what we could be share, a lot of the lessons is within the story. Then we'll really talk about, diving in on the branding side. Number one is, it counterintuitively, in order to have a very strong branding, you got to really understand who you are. So we'll talk about some soul searching. We'll talk about some golden rules in branding. I think that's very important. And then we'll also talk about, once we get our branding in place, how we can gain traction. So let's start with sharing a little bit of our growth journey of Real Estate IQ. We started back in 2013, so that's about 8 years ago now. I met my business partner Juan Carlos, and at the time we had a demo called MLS Deal Finder. That's what Haley was alluding to in the company name that we first had. It was called MLS Deal Finder. It finds deals, real estate deals on the MLS, multiple listing services, and it was, frankly, a working demo, but also quite unreliable. Now, what's interesting is that because it's such a unique concept and it was able to find the deals, we were able to launch and acquire 10 clients in 2014. And it was a lot of work. It was quite difficult to kind of build the marketing. And actually, in the beginning, it was called CMA Broker, was the name of the company. And the way we did sales was we did a lot of mass email marketing, and we offer a live demo, which I gave to those who opt in. And so it turns out, our statistic was every 2 client or every 2 demos, if I can provide the live demo, we can convert every 2, we can convert 1 into a paying customer. These customers, the product works, although intermittently, there are some issues. And so we were not able to kind of retain a lot of the clients. But the clients that this day is because they were able to find the deals and they could acquire the properties. And because it didn't work 100%, but it was still working. It was buggy, but working, I guess. We were able to kind of grow. It was kind of tough, very tough in the beginning. I still remember, thinking to myself that if I can get a demo, if I can get 1 demo appointment every day, then every week I get 5 opportunities. I can convert 2 or 2.5. Then we're able to grow. We can grow 50% every month. So 2015, we launched the company called Deal Finder LLC. We attended our first trade show and we reached 50 clients. In 2016, we launched a new tool called Fast CMA. And I think, what we did that was a little more kind of transformational was we started investing in doing educational marketing, just kind of share and teach about deal finding and what are the things that you need to find good deals. And we also, at the same time, pivoted to targeting the real estate investors market, and we reached 100 clients. So it took us 2 years to 10x from a measly 10 clients to 100. So here are some pictures. We attended our first trade show in 2015. This is a home designed banner. My wife actually helped design this. And there's a lesson here. If you notice, the color is navy, deep blue. We were trying to go for a little bit of a feel of a little more classy feel. But it turned out the real estate investment industry is very noisy. Everybody, all the companies in the trade show had very bright, very colorful banners. So when we were out there kind of standing with this, dark banner, we didn't stand out at all. So as you can see, the next year we got a new banner. And it was the same design. We just changed the colors. You can see here, these are the yellow ones now. Now it's a little bit brighter. And we started going to a lot of events to bring awareness to what we do in our company. 2017, we launched off-market leads. And this is from listening to our clients. Real estate investors they're interested in the deals that are on the MLS, but they are more interested in off-market leads, which are deals before they hit the MLS. We also started hosting webinars, and this would have this created some advantage for us in 2020. we expanded to Houston, and Becky joined. So we started having more team members to help us grow. In 2018, we launched our last module called County Data Finder, which is a kind of data searching tool that finds data absentee owners, other types of off-market leads. And we started doing more events, and we expanded to San Antonio, Austin, and we have Joseph joining us. So Becky started helping us with customer service side, and Joseph started helping us growing our product. And we kind of double our core team. So here are some pictures. Some of the pictures here are taken in Houston, back in 2017. And we started doing a lot of classes, educational marketing. Here's a picture from 2018 in San Antonio. Keep going here. 2019, we launched a new interface. You can see a screenshot of the interface. To me, this was a big change, a big improvement. The previous MLS Deal Finder interface was built with technology from the 90s. So now we have a much more updated interface, a much more a better user experience, and really helped with our branding. We also launched a new product called Deal Finding Suite and Premium Deal Finding Suite. Started doing sales online, invested in structure after talking to the Quest CEO, Nathan Long, and we reached 1,000 clients. So it took 2 years to go from 10 to 100, and then it took another 3 years to go from 100 to 1,000. So things were starting to pick up, but in the beginning, it was very slow. 2020, we launched our full product line and the Real Estate IQ community. So we started investing more in the online space. Also 2020 was the pandemic year, and just kind of going with the flow and the trend. It made more sense for us to invest more into online. We pivoted to online, and we had a record sales in the third quarter. In the year where most businesses shrank or they celebrate for having single-digit growth, we were able to hit double-digit growth, 14%, which is not great. I think as a SaaS company, we're gauged by different standards, but 14% is still, something that's a very high, very big achievement. And I give a lot of credit to our team for working very hard, making this transaction to make this happen. We also expanded to 12 markets and hosted our virtual conferences, and we established teams now in Asia and South America. So we're much more diverse as a company. So some highlights picture, there's a picture. This is a Quest conference that we attended back in 2019. Some of these pictures are in Texas, in Georgia, as we were expanding. In 2020, we started doing a lot more events online. So you can see these are some of the webinars and events that we attended. So let's talk about 2020, because that was it was a historical year, and it was a crisis actually, and we decided to look at it as an opportunity instead, but it was pretty big. It was number one, it was a lot of great uncertainty. There was no physical gathering, and physical gathering and physical events was a huge part of our lead generation. So, we kind of went with the flow, because we can't do physical events. The only way we can continue to grow is to pivot to online. So we started hosting more webinars. And the fortunate thing is we started doing webinars back in 2018 and started practicing. So we had a little bit of a head start to launch all these online webinars and launch our online platform. And we really focus on giving value to growing the real estate investment community. And we hosted a lot of events. Last year, we had 7,500 event attendees. So that served as our lead generation. We were able to successfully pivot to online. reached a double-digit growth, and also established the teams. So that was our key win last year. So looking forward, what we're looking at is we want to go national. We have a very key strategic position here by having a very strong base here in Texas. And we are doing a lot of research in new markets. So the markets that are colored on the map are the current markets that we're in. There are 12 markets in 8 key states. And our expansion strategy is very simple. We're typically a very lean company. And we just did some changes internally to make the product more lean so that it's much easier to launch in new markets. So the first step is to break even in new markets. It's pretty easy. We actually are breaking even in a couple of the markets already. And the next step is to raise capital for market penetration. So our goal by the end of 2023 will be national. So my lessons in our journey so far, number one is perseverance. It seems to me, especially in the beginning, where things that happen is so slow. There's a phrase, I think it's from Fast Company, the magazine, that they coined it founder's depression. And I think it's real, especially in the beginning when you're not getting a lot of traction. You got to find every reason to be optimistic and celebrate the wins. As the company's traction grows, there are other problems, maybe even bigger problems that requires, I believe, more perseverance to keep going. The second lesson is focus on experiment and pivot. My background is in physics, and I guess in science, we talk a lot about doing different experimentations. And once we find an experiment that shows promise, then we go all in on it. And there will be a time where it comes time to go, oh man, should we pivot? What's the right thing to do here? Third lesson, everything is about resources. It's about having the best people and also having the financial capital to continue to grow. The fourth one is important because unless you have a very strong infrastructure, if you keep adding more people, it's going to collapse. So you need to have a very strong infrastructure and processes and everything in place in order for these great people to do well in the organization. And that brings us to having a very strong organizational focus. And we have had this problem. I think a lot of business owners have this issue as well, personally, where, when there's a lot of things going on, it's very hard to have focus. And now imagine having an organization where there's a lot of people and it's very important to keep everybody very, very, very focused. A mentor shared with me that an organization, it's the sum of its vectors, and everybody is a vector, which is the direction that they're going. And if everybody is focusing in the same direction, then you can go really fast. But if you have people going in different directions, then your efforts start canceling each other and you're not gonna move as fast. So organizational focus is key, very, very important. And stay humble, ask for help. I think, in my entrepreneurial journey, as the company grows, I think, the more we realize, I think what's the phrase? How do they say it? I think the more you learn, the less you realize you know. And so it's very important to, I think, to keep humble and also don't be afraid to ask for help. And I think it's very key here because in my early in my career, I didn't want to ask for help. I think there's some kind of ego issue where if I ask for help, it means that I don't know I don't know anything. And it maybe somehow it brings down my self-perceived value. But the truth is we don't know anything. Whatever we know and we're good at is only a small portion of what's out there in the world. And being able to accept that and knowing that everybody has a lot of strength that we're not good at, and having the humility to ask for help. I think that that turned into kind of key strength for us. I want to talk a little bit about the second point, which is pivoting, and pivoting is key. And we're gonna bring it back to the whole branding here, because as you're pivoting, how do you establish your brand? You know, that's a true central issue here. And pivoting is by nature necessary, because you're gonna hit a point in your company's growth, and you're gonna be in a plateau level. So how do you get that breakthrough? A lot of times it requires pivoting. It's chaotic. It requires organizational change. So when everybody is focusing and trying to go one way, you're pivoting, you have to change everybody's focus to something else. It's extremely confusing. It's about change management. It's about getting buy-ins from everyone. And then once you figure that out internally, you still have to communicate that to the outside world. So when is the right time as you're growing your company to establish your brand? These are very, very big questions. So just to kind of use our company's example in progressing, I think the short answer to when and how is don't stop. You know, just always, I guess change is necessary. And when we figure that out, we have to make that change. So you can see here, we have made a lot of pivots. The first, at first, our company's name is CMA Broker, and we were focusing on real estate agents as our core audience. And that's why you see our MLS technology for top producers. And top producers is kind of like the key phrase for real estate agents, because when you're a top producer, you are selling a lot of houses, you're a top producer. We pivoted to MLS Deal Finder because we realized that the CMA Broker, the core product was to do CMAs, which stands for Comparative Market Analysis, and it means doing CMAs faster for real estate agents. But what we learned is that there's not a lot of market there. The real estate agents don't really care that much about having a system that helps them run CMAs. What turned out to be the one that attracts the most attention was finding deals on the MLS, because now we're looking at a house. If you can acquire it and sell it, you know, you're talking about at least $50,000 margin, $100,000 margin, and now you're adding so much value. Now there is enough value add for other people to pay you to use your product. So we had to pivot to MLS Deal Finder, and then kind of change our target and how we market. And then we pivoted to real estate investors, because it turned out the folks that are looking for deals are investors more so than real estate agents. And that prompted us to change our brand to Real Estate IQ, which finds deals. You know, we want to offer intelligence. And the tagline here is key too, where it says #1 in deal finding. And this is from a book, I think it's called The 20 Immutable Laws of Branding, that says that #1 is you should have a tagline in your brand. And #2 is you should find a category that you can dominate in, that you're #1 of. And so as we were kind of trying to figure out who we were, we realized that, you know, what we do best is finding deals. And deal finding to real estate investors is very sexy. You know, everybody needs deals. A real estate investor's business starts from having deals. So because nobody was in the category of deal finding, we took it and we said that we were #1 in deal finding. And by understanding that, we started investing our resources differently. We started to invest more in finding deals, you know, lead generation, and how can we find more deals? How can we be the best in deal finding? You know, let's continue to sharpen that edge and being #1 in deal finding. So 2021, we have a new marketing team in place, and they were able to even upgrade the graphics and the branding. So you see that there's a progression for MLS Deal Finder. We changed the logo of this module, and for Real Estate IQ, we also kind of upped the perception, and it's a 3D logo. Feel free to ask questions. I think there's probably a lot of material here, and a lot of information. So feel free to ask questions, please. Next. Okay, so I just kind of talked about a little bit of our story and our progression of our brand. And I think that the key here is stemming from understanding who we are as a company. And I want to kind of share with you, what we have figured out for Real Estate IQ as a company, and to go back to kind of the how and when to establish branding that you're gonna say, okay, this is the final branding that we're gonna move forward to. I understand what the answer is now that I didn't mention earlier. The key here, the timing, is about finding product market fit. That's the term. If your product is giving enough value, a lot of value to your market, it's called product market fit. And usually that's the time where you see your clients start picking up. Clients are telling each other about your product, and it's called product market fit. And I think when that happens, that's when it's really important. That's the right time to establish your branding. Okay, so who are we? So Real Estate IQ is a prop tech, which means property technology. It's a technology a platform for real estate, basically. We're going to be focusing on helping investors acquire properties and grow their portfolio. That's who we are. And this is important because we got to define who we are internally, so everybody in the organization understands, what we're doing, who we are, and then we can also broadcast that to the outside world. We have our core values: integrity, always doing the right things, growth-oriented. The real estate investment community has always been very growth-oriented. Everyone is about growing our portfolio, growing our understanding of the world, growing how to grow wealth, which I guess is why we are here at this webinar hosted by Quest. Champion mindset, it's about winning, it's about teamwork, and also it's about having fun. Our mission is to be the premier data provider for real estate investors. And our vision is to provide cutting edge data and analytics and automation. So everything is kind of aligned here. And let me tell you, to figure out this, it has been very confusing. It has been, you don't wake up one day and go, oh, I got everything. It's like constantly asking ourselves these questions and go, who are we? How are we? And continue to refine it so that we have these. So I have a set of questionnaire for you. I think this is, if anything, for takeaway, if you are on your computer or on your mobile phone, feel free to take a screenshot of these questionnaire. So these are some questions, key questions to help us figure out our life's purpose, and what I call a self-discovery questionnaire. And you can apply that for the business you're in as well. So it's both personal and you can use it for business. If you think of the business as its own entity, the business has its own passion. We, as human beings, we have passions too. So number one, what is my passion? Number two, what is my life's purpose? What do I serve? Who do I serve? And I think the term serving is important because we're serving our customers. We're always serving. We're servants. The only way for us to be successful in life is to be servants, to serve other people. The moment we start thinking we're the masters of other people, man, that's when you're not going to be successful anymore. So it's always about servant leadership is a key concept, I think, when it comes to to leading other people. What is my top 3 values? What do I care about the most? And what do I do that brings me happiness? And what are my goals? What is your superpower? What are your weaknesses? These are very true, and I recommend taking a day. And if you're gonna go on vacation, for a little bit, get away. Those are the best time to really start thinking about these key core questions to really understand who we are. And we're not gonna be able to really do that if we're just in our daily grind, day to day. It requires some time away, time off, and stepping back to really start questioning ourselves and understanding who we are. So I recommend, doing this during our vacation. Number 6 and number 7 is important because it's understanding what your strengths are, personally, or your company's strength and the weaknesses. And by understanding that, now you can figure out, personally, what should I be focusing on that's gonna be, I'm really super good at, and it's gonna help me find a lot of happiness by doing what I'm good at, but also being conscious of my weaknesses, so that I can either address the weakness by learning and growing into it, or the partnering or hiring somebody that can address my weaknesses. From a company standpoint, by understanding your superpower, your strength, and your weaknesses, and by comparing your competitors, then it's going to give you a lot of information to come up with a strategy that can focus on your company's strength, and finding that key niche that you're going to focus on, keep sharpening, so that you're going to have that super awesome cutting edge, competitive edge, that no matter where your competitors are, who you're coming up against, you can always win. And finally, what motivates you? So these are key questions, I think, that can really help us center ourselves. And then it's going to give us a lot of power no matter what we do. So I want to share a golden rule. And I already said it earlier. Is to invent a category that you can dominate in. Okay, so for us, it's deal finding. Nobody has that category in their tagline, and we are number 1. And once you put it on there, strategically, invest more and more resources. It could be personal resource, my time, the company's resource, and so on and so forth, to really sharpen that edge. And we will continue to dominate in this category in deal finding. So think about, for your business or what you do, what category is not out there that you can dominate in. Find that, put yourself as number 1, because nobody else is. So you're number 1. You're the first one. You're the first mover advantage. Everybody else is now number 2. And how do you continue to do that? And continue to be number 1. So let's see what we have here. So with the number 1 in deal finding as our tagline and the category, you can see that everything that we do in our marketing is about finding deals, find a deal within 90 days. Happy deal finding, connecting you with deals. You can also see, here, some testimonials of our clients. It's about lead generation, and that's really truly what deal finding is. So by choosing that category, we started marketing that category and popularizing the concept and that category, and now we're number 1 in deal finding. We dominate the category. So it's about having consistency, in your message. Once you figure out what your category is, and just kind of relentlessly, everything you do, just focus on that. Just hit it every day. We started doing something beyond that, and that is partnering with influencers. It's called an influencer strategy. So we started partnering with influencers and thought leaders and at the same time also cultivating our own influencers and thought leaders to help us promote our branding. And I think that's very important. I took this page from Quest. Actually, we learned from Quest. Partnering with a lot of influencers to grow your branding. So I want to give Quest a lot of credit here for us also adopting this strategy. And we use it through educational marketing. Just focus on giving a lot of education, giving a lot of value to our audience, and focusing on the deal finding category. I'm starting to sound like a broken record. I hope you're not bored by the category. When I'm saying that. And then another key piece here is start using different forms and platforms of media. I think by doing events, hosting events, I think that's a key piece because the event gives us a platform to give knowledge, share what we know, and also promote our branding. We're giving something of high value here because we're sharing what we know. The Meetup and Eventbrite and the events platforms are huge for us. In addition to the social media platform, YouTube is big, and we see that the introduction that Haley just gave. YouTube is also a big part of Quest's strategy, branding strategy. So keep this in mind. Here are some keys to summarize our talk. Focus on democratizing knowledge. I think of the world. If I could share a little bit of my life philosophy now. After I kind of found myself, I realized that I'm kind of in the intersection of Western philosophy because I did my higher education here in America. But I also I grew up in China, so I had a lot of that Eastern philosophy influence. And there's a common concept called flow. So think about flow like this: if I have a river flowing through my land, and I want to tap into the water, it's very easy. I just need to maybe dig a hole, and then now I have a pond, and I can keep the water. If we apply that concept into deal finding and finding deals, what's happening is, if I know where the deal is, and then it's very easy for me to get a piece of the deal and get into what we call the deal flow. Human knowledge is the same. We have had, thousands of years of civilization and history and knowledge, all these niche knowledge that we now have. By sharing what we have learned, we're just getting into the flow. I learned this and now I can share it. I've learned this, I have gained experience in it, I can share it. And by getting into that knowledge flow, I think we can learn more, and we can also teach, and it will also help us. We can leverage that to help build our branding, either our company branding or our personal branding. And there are so many other things that I guess that can be a very amazing benefit by just sharing knowledge. Having an abundance mindset, and we learned that from the big dogs here in Texas, where if we continue to think that there's a lot in the world and we are sharing, then what's very, very interesting, I think, is that when you give, you also receive. By just adopting an abundance mindset and sharing what we know, what we have, the universe comes back. And I'm sorry, I cannot explain this from a logical standpoint. I think we have to kind of believe in it and practice it, and then over time we'll realize that whatever we give, you're building goodwills from everybody, with everybody, and over time the goodwill comes back to us. So having the abundance mindset is also the key. Okay, so to summarize, we share with you the Real Estate IQ story. I also share with you some self-discovery questions, that helps us with soul searching, both personally and also for our business. And I also recommend for those of you who have a family, you have a family, also kind of do the same, because whenever it's easy to figure out stuff for one person, but it's hard to figure out stuff for a collective group of people. So it's self, family and business. You can apply this to everything you do, I guess. We share with you the golden rule of branding, which is invent a category that you can dominate in. If there's any takeaway here, please take away both the self-discovery questionnaire, ask yourself these questions, and the golden rule for branding, invent your category. And building traction, so once you figure out what it is, you got your category, now you can start promoting the category and promote yourself within the category. And start bringing more influencers and thought leaders and put that together. And that's the key of my talk. And I also want to share with you some of the things that we want to share with you. Number one is some of our upcoming events. We have worked with a lot of thought leaders and influencers to bring these events to you guys. And also we have, so what we just had in the previous slide are the free events. If you go to this website here, our community website /events, you can sign up for these upcoming events. And we also start offering paid workshops. So this is a big challenge for our events team to become a profit center. And I hope everybody here can help us support that effort. We have 2 workshops. Number one is the Fix and Flip workshop. We're partnering with Leah Zichiri. She has, I don't know how many projects she works on concurrently now because it's a big number. But I want to say that she always constantly have at least 10 projects happening at the same time. And she's based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She actually just helped us fix the home that we just moved in with her crew. She's so generous to share her crew with us to help us kind of do a quick remodeling of our home. And she knows everything. She knows everything about fix and flips. So this is a fantastic workshop to join. I guess a couple of purposes: learn from her and also get to know her. Network with her. And also, I'm sharing. We don't have the tagline here. I want to share everything that I have learned so far. The branding is one piece of kind of this overall theme, and we are playing with the title. And I think one title that we are playing with is on building a business that can autopilot without huge upfront cost. So in that workshop, I'm going to be sharing how to grow your company. A concept called bootstrapping. The bootstrapping is a startup term that means that you are building your business without much upfront capital. And when you make your first sale, when you make your sales, you reinvest it back to the company. So it's maybe some of us would call it sweat equity or kind of building it through sweat. It's called bootstrapping. So you're growing very organically without taking outside capital, and you can grow your business to be pretty big just by bootstrapping. So again, the name of this workshop is called "How to Build a Business Without Huge." How to build a business that can autopilot without a huge upfront cost. Okay, so that's all that I would like to share with you today. Let's open up for questions, and happy deal finding, everybody.
Awesome. So if you guys have questions, be sure to post them either in the chat or the Q&A box, and I'll answer them as they come in. But Steve, I actually do have a few of my own questions for you. You talked a lot in the beginning about scaling your business, how you guys were able to go from like 1 to 10 to 1,000. What was the hardest part about scaling your business, and how did you overcome that?
Oh my gosh, what's the hardest part? I think everything is hard. I think for me, the toughest part is people. And I have my before I started Real Estate IQ, I kind of graduated from a leadership development program. So I was always thinking kind of in a leadership term, how to lead people, how to take care of people. And I think it's very important to understand human nature, because when you're leading people, you got to understand, how we all behave. We're all the same. So it's about, I think, not having wishful thinking and thinking that everybody is fantastic, but also just kind of understanding that we all have base human natures. And so that by understanding all that, we can lead people more effectively. So it's not seeing people in rosy lenses, but with a more realistic lens. And I think that to me was the biggest kind of mindset shift that I had to make, because if you don't have that, you'll always be disappointed, I guess.
That's awesome. And I think you can see that too in the way that your company name even has evolved over the years. It started with the CMA, then MLS Deal Finder, then now MLS Deal Finder is just one segment of the overall business and sphere of Real Estate IQ. So I think that's really cool. Also, you, and I know this from working with your team, from the events that we join you guys, you join our events all the time. A lot of your team works remotely, and you guys were, I think, doing this, even before the pandemic. So how do you manage your remote employees? Could you give any insight there, especially as you're growing a business and a lot of your team is remote? What advice or insight would you have there?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a big one, Haley. I think you're very good at asking great questions. It's a great question. I think we had a head start in dealing with these remote working issues and problems. And I think that's also a very difficult challenge. And maybe what we did, we just had a head start. So when the pandemic hit, we kind of figured some of these issues out, but not entirely. In fact, I think every day we're kind of still struggling with the remote working culture. What's the best way to do it? I think some challenges would be, I think, having a strong culture, having a strong remote culture, because you're not working in the same location. So how do you build teamwork? How do you build trust? We're doing the best we can with understanding questionnaires. We started doing we're going to start doing more of virtual happy hours, team building kind of exercises. And I think now that it's becoming more of a norm, we stop seeing remote working as a weakness. Oh, I wish we could have a concurrent office. Actually, a lot of high-tech companies, they have a remote working culture. Mm-hmm. I think that's one. Number two, I think it's productivity. There's no way to really monitor how people work when they're working at home. So there's got to be a lot of trust in there. And I think that also perhaps prompted us to make some shift internally this year to really improve the productivity. And I think it's really about, hiring the right people that have commitment to the company instead of, those that don't have commitment. Maybe they're working for several companies. And then working from home is really good, I think, from their standpoint, because they can work for multiple companies at the same time. But then their performance suffers when they are working for multiple companies. So we ended up making a shift as well to really kind of change our culture and change the folks that can be more committed to our company. This is a deep topic, Haley, I guess.
It could be its own class in itself, right?
Let me think about that.
Yeah. And I love too that you mentioned about kind of the culture and kind of buying in, because that's something that we talk about here a lot at Quest. If your employees can understand the value that they're adding to people's lives, they're going to be a lot more motivated to do the types of things that, they need to be working on. And that's something that we're really big here on Quest too. So that's interesting to hear. My last question for you is, so I know you guys do a ton of events, you bring in a lot of different guest speakers, we come in all the time, but you guys also do demos of your software. You always have stuff like that. You guys carry around a giant TV with you to all the events. I have so much respect for that. But if someone is not local and they're not seeing you at one of the events, how can they do a demo with you guys? Do y'all have any specials going on? Kind of walk us through that so people can kind of know what the next steps would be from here if they're interested in finding out more about how your platform works.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for this question. And I think what we can do is to paste a link here. There's an online demo link that you can sign up for to take a look at our product. Just a little bit of maybe insider sneak peek here is that we are changing from a demo to a data consultation. We're actually in the middle of a little bit of a shift also to really focus on our best-selling products and data and really sharpen the edge. And we feel that our best product is our deal finding data, which is the off-market leads motivated seller data. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be offering data consultation on how to utilize these motivated sellers. And you can see it here. It's realestateiq.co/demo. So thank you for being here, and thank you for learning about us. Oh, okay. Thank you, Candela. Candela has the real a link. So it's called realestateiq.co/request-a-demo, and that's the actual accurate link that you can use. We just pasted on chat here to really see what our product is about. It's really cool because now we have the data and we also have the CRM that you can utilize to do your marketing to get your deals. So we're truly building on our branding to help you find more and more deals.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And you guys always have something new up your sleeve. So it's really cool to see not only have you grown over the last years, but how you're continuing to grow and further fine tune these tools for real estate investors. Steve, my last question of the day for you, and this is the one I always like to end our classes on. If you had one final piece of advice for our audience out there, what would you like to share with them? What kind of piece of advice or last insight you have for the day?
Wow. I love these deep questions. Like I'm going, oh man, I thought I share a lot. So there's gotta be something here, right? So let me search deep into a comment. I think manage your resources well. This is what one of the secrets I shared. I will be sharing in the workshop that I have. Everybody, we have limited time. We have limited money. So these are our key resources. It's time and money. So how can we utilize these resources well to achieve the biggest impact, whatever result that you're trying to drive at? And I think in terms of time, it's about time management. You gotta manage your time very well. And for finances, you gotta understand where your money is going, how you're spending your money, and what's your percentage. Like, let's say, every day, every month, I have so much income. How am I spending my money? Am I spending like 50% of my income in like Netflix and shopping, all that stuff? Can I spend that better? So having that idea and making that conscious choice, I think that's key, because I think it's very easy to not do that because we're all inherently lazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point to end on. I'm glad I know it took you a second, but I love that you mentioned that, because it's so true, especially as a lot of us are, growing our real estate businesses, growing our investments. That's something that I've really been doing for the past year and a half or 2 years. Me and my boyfriend both, we've had our heads down. We're focusing on growing our investments, growing multiple streams of income. So we can pay for the Netflix and we can go on trips and things like that. And it's not holding us back from getting us to our main goal. So that's a great point to end it on for the day. To all of our attendees out there, thank you for joining us. If you want to rewatch today's class, as well as any of our other recent classes that we've hosted, head on over to our YouTube channel. And if you have questions about self-directing your own IRA, reach out to us. We have those promotions going on right now, and we'd love to help you get started. So Steve, thanks for joining us. I hope you have a great week, and I'm sure I'll hopefully see you in person, hopefully at one of these upcoming events here soon.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Awesome. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.